All right, Joe.
What's
Got
up?
a question for you, brother.
Yeah.
When's the next one?
The next what?
The next baby. When's the next one?
Bro, we just hit a year, bro. We're 13 months in, bro. I'm not even thinking about the
You're
next
not even
one.
thinking about that. I was already, man. Rachel was already 4 months pregnant, but no. Nah, man. I really wanted to get you on here. I feel like so many parents are like probably wondering what a year is in review. Like, let's talk about what it's been for you. A year in review. Like our first episode was first day out. Tell me what it's been like. How's the rehabilitation? What's
Yeah.
first year? You know what I mean?
Man, I will say the first year for us feels like I blinked and it passed. It's been so quick, and it's been so surreal in all aspects. I've learned so much. I've grown so much, experienced so much with my son
Right.
that I would have never thought that it would have been through or done in my
Yeah.
life. You know, it just
Right.
feels like this year has completely changed everything.
Yeah. And would you say, because you've been through a year before, right? Maybe you started a new job or you're not originally from New York.
Yeah.
Was this the fastest year of your life?
Oh yeah, I think in my 30s, I've been so stagnant in life. Like,
Really?
and I don't say that as like maybe I stopped going to the gym, maybe I worked at a place for a couple of years. Like those things felt like they existed, and maybe the time was a little slower. For this, it just feels like everything has moved so quickly, and I've seen it move in real time, not just from my perspective on the time changing, but him,
Wow.
my son
That's
changing.
heavy.
You know,
You
my
had
son.
like a measuring tape.
Yeah, my son changing in every month, every week,
Wow.
every milestone is like measured, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is like you see days in real time rather than like I'm at a job, I'm here every day.
Man, that was so well said. I don't know if I could have articulated the first year like that. And that was well said because you're literally like, people are posting 1 month with Soul, 2 months, not with Soul, but 1 month. And so, like, as you've gone through this year, I know it's been fast, but is there a stage that you miss? Or, like, did you have a favorite stage?
It's interesting you say that. That's a good question because I think my favorite stage is right now. And
Do
the
you think
reason
you're saying that because you're in it? Or you,
the reason I would say that, I could give you a specific, and I will, but
Okay.
I think the stage that I really enjoy right now is him right now because he's starting to walk. He's really aware of everything. He can process things. I know what he likes, what he doesn't like. He has big feelings, and that's all comes with what it comes with.
Yeah.
But he's like really there. You know what I mean? Like he's really with me in the
right.
room rather
He's
than
not
like
sleeping 23 hours anymore.
than me just being like nurturing him. And of course, I'm always monitoring, avoiding every catastrophic situation.
Of course.
with
I
him.
mean, hey, honestly, someone told me this at the year checkup. That's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
You've kept your baby okay for a year, and that's huge. So congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, man. But I would say if I was to really put a time on it, I'd say like that 3 to 6 months was so surreal and so it was so quick, but it was so intense in the sense that it opened me up. It opened my heart up. It opened the way that I process things. It challenged me with my wife. It challenged me with how I represent our family, how I'm taking care of not only him, but her.
Yeah.
All these things really brought the best out of me within those first few months
Right.
that I really didn't know that I had. I didn't know that I could do a lot of these things consistently. Not that I didn't know I could do the dishes, but I
No.
take pride in things for my family.
Right.
And I really feel like doing it with the love and like similar to how we've talked about before, it's just like this immense unquantitative love that
Yeah.
never
It's-
runs out.
You
It's
didn't
just
know your
always
heart
there.
could do that.
Yeah, I didn't know it could open that much. You know?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And you know what's funny is like about what you said, you're doing this for your fam. Like that little boy has your last name.
Yeah,
Does that ever weigh on you?
it does.
Like
in the
it's not just for Joe anymore.
Yeah. I think about work. I think about goals. I think about them differently now. I think about how I'm leaving behind things for him, not only just monetary, like not only money, not only that, but what am I leaving behind in how we're talking to each other differently, how we're loving each other differently, how we're like responding. And I'm not only talking about just to him, I'm talking about to my wife? How am I
Right, yeah,
talking to
because
my?
that's what he's gonna remember how you treated his
So
mom.
I think my answer to that is like I'm trying to kind of change the trajectory of my last name in some capacity,
Wow.
but also taking pride of who we are and understanding that who I am is what he's looking at. You know, it's like
Yeah.
somebody said this to me. They were like, "Yo, my son probably sees me as 10 feet tall. You know, he sees me as like this thing that I may not see myself as, you know, and I want to hold that with so much integrity now rather than like I'm just here and figuring it out. Maybe I'm, you know, trying to respond better, all those things. But it's been interesting to process that on a deeper level when
Yeah.
it's like he has my last name, he's gonna carry on the legacy that we build together.
And you're gonna be that, and it's so funny. Luke Combs, like he has an album called Father and Sons, and if you're not in the country, I still caution all fathers to listen to it because it's truly good. And he speaks about his father, and he says, you know, he's 10 feet tall and bulletproof, and it's about his dad getting older, and he's like Luke Combs' dad getting older, and he's like that S on his chest is starting to fade.
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, that's who we are to these little kids. And it's funny that you talk about how you're trying to change the trajectory and like throughout your career and throughout your even marrying your wife and giving her your last name, your apartment moving from Texas to New York, all these things, right? You maybe were trying to change the trajectory of your next situation, but now you're like, oh my God, like, what am I leaving you?
Yeah.
And so that's just so
It
sobering.
means so much more now. Like even the change of like my career, it's not or my job or moving houses or play like that. Those are all like thoughts and concepts. Of course, like I'm moving, I'm doing this, but like I'm thinking about if I'm moving my place, what if we're moving our house, like how's that going to affect him? How's it going to affect how we
Absolutely.
grow together and all
Right.
those things? If I leave my job, what are we going to do in this season? In this season,
Healthcare and
yeah,
yeah.
healthcare. All those things are way deeper process now. You know.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. I wanted to talk about just like that profound feeling that your heart gets. And now, like something a little bit more tangible, like I want to ask you, just because I remember going through this and I'll open up the vulnerability. Laguna was a really late walker and talker.
Yeah.
And now she's on track for both today,
Yeah.
right? But there were a few pediatrician appointments where I was a little worried, but I couldn't tell Rachel because she was really worried.
Yeah.
Is there anything developmental that soul either excels in or not, and is there an insecurity like just
Yeah.
for I want parents listening because that's a big insecurity for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think for us, Soul, when he was born, he was really at the ninth percentile. He's always been in like the lower percentile. Like now I think he's at like 12, 13. He's getting up as he's getting older, but it was always a concern like
For size?
for size.
Okay.
I'm like, is he growing right? Is he okay in these milestones? But he quickly took to like walking, his
Nice.
teeth came in. But the thing that's interesting and how I process it is because, you know, we have the dad community and I see babies every month. So every time I see 50 to 100 dads, all their babies have changed and hit different milestones. And so
Yeah.
a lot of those dads have been on the same trajectory as us. So some are ahead of us and some are behind us in some areas. And then it's just interesting to see, like, I'm like, oh, your kid is doing this, my kid's not. And sometimes it's easy to compare.
Oh,
But
it's so easy.
I've really learned to just take it for what it is because when I think about it, and we've had this conversation before, especially with my wife too, it's just like, yo, like we're the same age, around the same age, and that doesn't matter now.
Of course, yeah.
It doesn't matter how fast I walk or
They're all
how
gonna
fast
put their pants on and eat their Wheaties the
you
same
know,
eventually.
so it's like I'm just trying to process that in the year that he's had, and
Yeah.
it's like we have, you know, a lot of kids who are in different areas and stages of development, but it's been fun to process and see. But it also, I think what I've been doing more internally is just trying to champion those milestones with him
Yeah.
instead of comparing, you know.
Yeah, comparison's the thief of joy, and it's true. But you know, oftentimes you can get caught up like being like, "Oh, we saw when maybe Bear was not really mobile yet. He was like still sleeping. So 2 or 3 months ago, there was this girl that's 2 months older than Laguna at the park. I mean, I thought the girl could read a dictionary.
Yeah.
She was like, we would say, "Oh, these are Laguna's pink shoes." She's like, "Pink shoes?"
Oh my
And at
gosh.
that point, 2 months younger, Laguna was saying, "Mama, Dada."
Yeah.
Now, if you look at Laguna and say floor, she'll go floor. Like she almost says every word
Yeah.
you say to her, which is cool. But that really stressed us out.
Yeah.
And so just seeing another kid at the park stress us out, you see 100 dads a month.
Yeah.
And so I just didn't know if there was like this like impending fear that I know a lot of parents go through. And
Yeah.
like, how would you console one of those parents? Just like, what would you tell them? Like, you know?
What I would say is it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Nice.
It's not, there's different mile markers. It doesn't matter when you get there and how you're going to get there.
Yeah.
It matters that you make it and you're with your child in each of those milestones. So embracing every mile is important. And that's what I'm learning about ourselves and how we're trying to learn to parent is just like, hey, man, I'm here. I'm going to do the best that I can investing in my time with him. So
Right.
like I've started like really just being intentional on teaching him things like,
I saw that in you recently. You said like, that's a black coaster as
Yeah.
you put it away or something.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I see that
I'm trying to
intentionality.
like now that he has, I feel like an idea of concepts of things, like he processes things, he knows he wants things, he knows he doesn't. I'm like, let me talk to you a little bit more. Let's process it. And it helps me too, because I'm like, how am I communicating these things?
Yeah.
Not as like, just when I say trying to process it, this answer, not as like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to baby you
No,
in the
no, no,
process,
no, yeah.
but really trying to like get it to this like bare conversation of like, hey, here is this. I'm trying to explain things to him more, show him things more.
It makes you slow down.
Yeah,
and
it
be
makes you
present.
really. Yeah, that's really what I'm trying to find.
Like
is
presence.
how do I take him all the things that I'm processing and figuring out, because he's processing now and he's thinking about those things. So trying to kind of walk him through a lot of those everyday conversations, tangible items that he's holding, all that stuff. Because he's walking now, he's going crazy all over the
Soul's
house. He's
moving, man.
He's moving, so he's got that down. Now I'm just trying to like help him with his speech and things like that. So that's the milestones we're kind of looking at, is like where are your eyes, where's your
my
ears,
gosh, yeah.
those little things, more mental, or like maybe he gets it and he just doesn't know how to communicate it too, is something that
Of course.
challenging myself with. It's like, hey, he is very smart in how he processes those things. So try
And
not to be
sometimes
so
babies
hard.
literally just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Like Laguna can sign half the words she knows, and if she doesn't want to do it, she just won't.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like, did you forget? Like, did I,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, no, I love your presence with it. And I think as we talk about the stages of Soul and like a year in review, like, what's your favorite thing right now at 13 months?
Man, my favorite thing right now, that's a good question. I think my favorite thing right now is being able to really spend time with him in the mornings. I let Mal sleep in a lot from like, I'll get the first shift, I would say. We kind of
Oh, we always say that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
it's
no,
like,
you're good to say
yeah,
that.
6 a.m., that's our thing. I'll get him. We'll go for a walk. We'll go to the coffee shop. And I've really been able to like talk to him. Like we'll park right on the pier. We'll look at the ferry coming in. We'll go to the coffee shop. I'll talk to the barista and I'll be like, hey, how are you doing today? So, and I'll like kind of have this, I want him to see me doing things and having conversations with
Nice.
people, not only just like my daily, but like dads and men
Right.
in different spaces, how I talk to my wife. Like I really love seeing him be around me in those settings, and then also talking to him and just like, he doesn't respond, of course, like the best. He's like learning how to do all that, but just being in it with him has
Yeah.
just been really cool. And like,
But once he's able
there.
to, he will, because you've been doing the pre-work.
Yeah, and he's been there with me. Of course, I've
Right.
done that his whole, a whole year now. But now in this season, it feels like he's really kind of retaining a little bit more and understanding. So
Yeah, and it's so funny, like you talking a year in review. I love it because Laguna's almost a year older, because she'll be 2
yeah,
in September, and it's just so fun. I know you're about to skyrocket, and like you're not there yet, and I can't wait for the phone calls where you're like, bro, what? Like I literally tell people, I'm like, my daughter's possessed, like something like literally month after month, from month 14 to month 18, the girl. I mean, I'm like, dude, are you in high school? Like, who are you?
That's all.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, yeah,
it's been so crazy. Like the first year, I was so stressed about just like him existing, being alive. Now I'm like,
keep
dude,
breathing, yeah.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh my gosh, he's running everywhere. He's walking. He's like kind of, he still does the like drunk man walk, I would say, where it's kind of, he's trying to get his footing, but it's just so fun and so Like now I'm like worried about him having a catastrophic event. Like I'm like, yo, I
The
actually gotta
bruises
follow
that come
you.
with
Yeah.
with
Yo,
walking.
I gotta follow you. I gotta really watch you in the sense that I have to follow you around every.
You kind of turn into like, because the corners of things, the
Oh my
corner of the
gosh,
coffee
the
table
table, yeah.
will just cut him.
And they find the corner. That's like every time.
They find the corner. They find the small things, the nails on the ground. It's
Oh,
like, I'm like, dude, their vision. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's funny. And, talking more about Soul, just because he's a super bright kid, is like, what do you think of his personality now? And I kind of tell people, like, the first stages of baby, it's like, you don't really know their
Yeah, yeah.
personality. I'm not going to pretend you do.
Yeah.
But now you definitely are starting to see it. So what is Soul's personality?
Yeah, I say Soul is like the sweetest boy. He's so kind. He's so like I'll pick him up and from his nap, I'll pick him up and I'll pat him like on his back, and then he'll pat me. And it's this like moments that we've been having recently where I'm like, oh, are you telling me you care about me too? And
Yeah.
like, very loving, of course, and like always in that sense. But it's like he kind of is trying to do the same to me,
Right.
and shows that. And then also just like he's a funny kid. He laughs a lot. He's been able to like he really thinks like things are funny, and he wants to show me, and he thinks like a lot of things that I do are funny, and it's been cool. I feel like that's my little guy. That's my friend. Like
Yeah.
He enjoys being around me, and I think that's been a cool thing to see, rather than him just like being there.
Yeah, just
those
like
first
he's
few
not
months.
existing. He's like partaking.
Yeah, but he's partaking.
Yeah.
We started doing this thing where like we'll eat dinner together now,
Okay.
like because we used to feed him a bottle, and now we're like
And like you and Mal got a moment.
yeah, so now we're like trying to take us to the table. We're all three around the table. We're talking to him, like like just really trying to build routines has been really great and really fun to see him partake in.
Yeah, I'm excited for you for Christmas this year for you.
Oh yeah, I
Just-
thought about that the other day.
Just
yeah.
because like Laguna's Christmas, she was maybe his age now, or maybe like 16 months, and it's really fun, bro. Yeah, I'm excited for you for Christmas.
I thought about that because last year he was 6 months or so.
He just
so I was
did-
like,
he's not-
yeah,
he
he
doesn't
was
care.
like, okay, he pulled the wrapping paper, but I'm excited. And it's not about presents, but I'm excited for him to be like, oh my gosh, I got this, or I like this, or I don't
just
care
like
about
be
this.
able to choose.
Yeah.
Like have choice. He has choice.
Yeah.
And no, that's exciting. Yeah, I'm excited for Christmas. And speaking more about Soul, it's like I want to ask this because we kind of said how you're like, it's funny that you're saying I'm watching his every move because he's drunk man walking.
Yeah.
Do you feel more confident now, or are you technically more unsure? Because like, for me personally, when I brought home Laguna in those early months, I thought when she coughed, she was going to stop breathing.
Yeah.
And so like, but now when she's walking, I don't want her to bang her head and cut her
Yeah.
eye open. So like, where do you
Yeah,
stand?
I feel like maybe we're a little different in this, but I was so stressed out through his whole the whole first 6 months. I was like,
really?
I was a Googler. I was like, we went to the
No.
hospital multiple times. I was so stressed, and now I feel like gave myself the freedom to just like be okay with what's gonna happen. He's a boy. Like not only like not so even so much like oh he's good. It's just like more like hey we're good. Like
Yeah.
I think it's been I'm less like stressed and I'm more confident.
More
I would
confident
say
now.
because he can move, he can grab stuff, he's holding on his own, and I'm just like oh my gosh, like I think you're good. I trust you a little. Like he trusts me. I trust
Yeah,
him.
yeah. You guys have like an unspoken agreement.
Yeah. So like I feel a little bit more confident now than I did back then because I'm
That's
like,
dope.
and that's where I think about when we talk about having two with you
Yeah,
is like
yeah.
different because I'm
it's like imagine they're in both stages at the same.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I'm like, dude, you can't win.
yeah. So now I feel very confident more than I did,
Good,
now.
yeah.
Of course, now I feel like I'm more stressed about like he could do anything at any time at any place, Like
Yeah,
I
but it's almost
I was
like
walking
bumps
with,
and bruises.
Yeah, I was walking with him. We went to an engagement party, and he was not having it. He wanted to walk, so
Okay.
He's kind of fussy, and they're doing the toast and everything. So we walk outside. We're in the Bronx, man. Like he's like walking, falling. He's still kind of catching himself a little bit, bro. He's like all over the ground, all over the bus stop. I'm
cigarette
like,
butts
I'm
and,
like, this is disgusting. I'm like, why are we like?
And
bro,
then they go to wipe their eye. and
Oh
you're like,
my
"No."
gosh. I was like, dude, so like in
gonna
that
get a
sense,
parasite.
I'm like a little stressed about how he's handling and how he's just walking and out in the world. But I am feeling a little bit more confident that I can like put him on the ground and like he walks.
Yeah, and he's a little bit more self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that we talk about these two different stages, I don't know all of you and Mal's history, but I know what it felt like for us to like maybe ask mom to help out, or like we don't have a sitter or a nanny, but like to ask someone to help out back in the day, it was like you pop a bottle in her mouth and she'll go back to bed. Now for you, do you feel a little bit more insecure leaving him with a sitter because like say someone's watching him? What if he falls? Like do you ever think is it a harder watch now or before?
I feel like it was hard to watch before.
Okay.
Like now I feel confident because we have his routine. I can kind of tell somebody. I don't know how comfortable I feel with somebody that I don't know other than the people that do watch
Have
him.
already done it. Yeah.
Then for them to be like, oh, we're gonna like give him a bath. Those little things that are like so different,
definitely.
and like so vulnerable for how our family routine is. But I do feel confident that he's alive. That he's not like, I don't know. He just feels more sturdy, man. Like he's good. Like he's not gonna like
He could take a little hit. Yeah,
like
yeah.
I was stressed about him sleeping on his stomach. Like I was stressed on him and his back. Like everything I was so stressed on. Now I'm like, you know what? If he's asleep, I think he's good. Like we're good,
Dude, Rachel makes me get up with Bear. It's like hilarious. Sometimes I give her a little bit of crap because she'll be like, "Can you make sure Bear's breathing?" And I'm like, "What about Laguna? Like, you're not worried about her?" But she's like in that same kind of situation.
Oh, we had the breathing band. Like I was stressed.
Dude. I tell
bro.
her, I'm like, I'm not getting out of bed, bro.
Yeah.
He's fine. But he is fun. All right. So you said something earlier that like sparked something on me, and as I close this out, I think like parents listening, I want them to hear how you would talk to yourself in the past, because a lot of our listeners may have a 5-year-old, some may have a 1-year-old like you, and some may have a 2-month-old and they don't know what to think. And so like if you could leave a note to yourself when Soul was 3 months old, what would it say? And I bring this up because you said that you like already kind of left notes to yourself, or you wrote what was going on. Who was that dad? And like what would you tell him?
I would tell that dad to live in the moment. I think a lot of what I journaled back in the day, it's like a year ago.
It feels like that.
It does feel.
It feels like that.
Oh my gosh.
You went from like a nugget that couldn't even open his eyes to a guy that's running around picking up ball. Yeah, so I get it.
A lot of it was, am I gonna like process this differently? Am I gonna speak? I put so much pressure on the now of like how I'm talking to Mal and how we're figuring out our dynamic and really trying to like change the narrative of like what I saw growing up, you know, and how we both, respond to each other and those things. I was so hard on that. I was so hard on like, man, is he gonna see me as this kind of dad? Am I being this kind of dad? Like all this pressure, and I just would tell myself or anyone listening to give yourself grace.
Nice.
Because the only thing you have is right now, and the only thing that matters is the decision that you make now with your son, with your child. And for me, it's put a lot less pressure. Like I may have not made the best decision or said the best thing or responded the best way, but I can the next time, and I can the next day, and I can the next moment. You know? So I think
you can be accountable about the one before.
Yeah, and you can be accountable about those ones, and every day is going to matter. And so being able to like really just give myself grace and to give yourself grace if you're going through whatever season, if it's a year, if it's a few months, it goes quickly, and those things matter. But also, you're just figuring out. It's your first time experiencing this, and it's their first time experiencing this, and it's our first time. That's kind of what we told ourselves together, is just like, hey, this is everyone's first time experiencing this, so we can all be okay. Like it's okay if we don't do it perfectly, but we're gonna adjust, apologize, figure it out. I'll figure it out, but I'm definitely would say just give yourself grace and know that it's your first time doing this.
Yeah, right. And I wonder what it is about parents. It's like we could talk about this deeper in a different podcast, but it's like if you give yourself too much grace, then you're like kind of a deadbeat, right? Like if you're just like so much grace, it's willy nilly. Like I'm fine. I don't need to get up. I can let them cry it out, like whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's so much grace, but it's almost like when you are hard on yourself, you have other parents saying like, just give yourself grace. It's like this fine line in the sand that it's like so hard, man.
Yeah.
I think some dads give themselves too much grace and they go on a golfing trip, And I think some dads give themselves not enough grace, and I find out they're like crying in bed at night because
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they thought they snapped on their
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. Or I'm just like beating myself up mentally,
Yeah,
just
just
like, yo,
nonstop.
emotionally,
So,
like, why did I
dude,
do that?
yeah.
It's like, yeah.
We need to have like give yourself grace as an episode. I just thought about when you said, I'm like, man, like what's the right amount of grace?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, and I think
I would also say one thing. Sorry,
No,
as
go.
as you're talking, I
Yeah.
think for me, not only would I say give yourself grace, I would say the most important thing that has happened and for me in this season is finding community. Brooklyn Stroll Club for me has been life changing, and
I
that's
love it, bro.
what we really have like focused on. Not only me, my wife as well, and it's kept me accountable to how I'm talking to her, how I'm responding. I say that because my wife, we've been married for 7 years. We were married 7 years before we had him, so like had a rhythm. We had that process that we were on, and it changed when he was here, and all those rhythms, are new.
Yeah.
The streams are different now.
And
It's
it's
like,
almost like you're looking at the way you and your wife's marriage was, and like, would you present that to Soul and say, do it just like this?
yeah, at your most exhausted state,
Yes.
at a place where you're rediscovering yourself.
Everything's more
Not
aggravated.
only as a man, as a partner, as who you're going to be as a father. You're rediscovering all that stuff. So community has really been important for us, and really just been a foundation for me in general to be able to process that with other dads who are in the same season, maybe ahead, maybe a little bit behind.
But the season of fatherhood.
It makes it more real, and
Yeah.
it makes it more of a constant conversation, which I think needs to be had, of how I'm responding, or I admire something that they said, or I admire how they responded to their partner, or how they did with their kid, whatever they did. And I learn it constantly with all the dads in the community.
That's awesome. Yeah. And that's why Joe may never plug it, but that's why he created the Brooklyn Stroll Club. And it's a club that meets monthly in Brooklyn. And I mean, if get him on Instagram and just follow along. What you're doing is amazing. And I'm a big fan of you. I think the last thing I have to ask you, man, is like, when's the next kid?
Oh my gosh, no. Oh, that might be a few seasons
now
from
that you're so good with Soul, like
Yeah.
what?
We'll come
Now-
back a few seasons from now, bro.
Perfect. I think we want to leave you guys with like the call to community as always. And if your kid just turned 1 or a year in review, or even if you're just starting out, like I want you guys to hit us up and get involved in the community and DM us and tell us like what's been the hardest moment. And we don't say what's been the hardest moment because we want to hear your struggle. What's the biggest thing you've overcome?
Yeah.
I
Or
think
what have
that's
you
where
learned
we're at.
about yourself?
Yeah, and what have you learned about yourself? And I think me and Joe just love to like look out at the community and because we want to feel like us too also. Like we want to say me too also.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we want you to say that. So yeah,